Hi Sarah, we are ready to roll. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, thank you, Partha. Hi, everyone. This is Sarah again from Flavor Temperations. I'm here to sort of teach you about how to cook Indian food, especially Indian curries. And today we're going to make potato curry because potato is a comfort food and a lot of people like it. So I'm going to show you how to make that. A couple of days ago on Friday, actually Friday night, I had given you some information about Indian cooking. The fact that Indian cooking involves a lot of spices, we all know that. But also the fact that it's not about throwing everything into the pot at the same time. It's about layering the spices and it's a flavor building process. So what we do with our flavor packs and our spice packs is what we call it, is we actually put together all the spices that are needed in order for you to cook authentic Indian food from scratch. So these are our recipe packs, our spice packs, whatever you want to say. So we have three primary flavors. We have curried potatoes, then we have chana masala, which is basically chickpeas in an onion tomato sauce, and a bunch of spices that come in this packet. And then the third flavor that we have is chicken tikka masala. You will see the list of these products in the carousel at the bottom of this video, so you can go and check those out and dig around on Amazon to find out what exactly goes into each of these packets. So Indian cooking, like I said, is about layering spices, and each of these recipe packs contains an easy to make recipe, easy to follow recipe. These are actually my mother's recipes, and so I'm here sharing them with you because I want to spread her excellent cooking to whoever can is liking Indian food. So it's got easy to follow recipe and it has all the pre-measured spices. The potatoes you pick up from your own local grocer, so it could be in the form of your grocery store, or it could be your farmer's market, or it could be even your own garden where you can pick your own vegetables from. So the packet contains, at the back it tells you what else you need. For potatoes, all you need is potatoes, some salt and some oil. Our recipe packs are have got no salt in it. When you look at the nutrition label, you can see that there is zero salt, no sugars, no additives or preservatives, purely spices, and they're all organic spices that are sourced from Indian farms. That is where we get our spices packaged in. Inside each packet, then you will find is a spice set, and this contains all the spices needed to make the potato curry. So this contains things like, so each spice is separately labeled. So you have mustard seeds, cumin seeds, and then coriander powder, which is ground coriander, turmeric powder made out of turmeric root, and cayenne powder. So when you talk about Indian cooking, Indian food, a lot of people think it's very spicy, but technically the spices have more of flavor in them, and the cayenne is the primary spice, or the only spice which really gives you the heat. So if you want to add more of the heat, add all of the cayenne. Otherwise you could add just as much as you like, depending on who you're feeding. If you're feeding younger kids, you may want to just put a pinch of this. Otherwise you could put all of it. Today I'm going to do all of that to make the curried potatoes. Now I'm going to set these up, and Indian cooking, like I said, is layering. So first I'm going to be toasting the seeds. The seeds get toasted because when they burst, they release their aromas, and that is what makes it much more flavorful, and the flavor building process starts then. So what I did is I have already chopped up my potatoes. The reason these potatoes are in water is when you chop up the potatoes and you keep them in water, they actually do not darken. So that way they look nice and fresh, and those are the potatoes that you currently have. That I've chopped it up already for you, and I also had the oil and the salt. That is all you need in order to make this recipe using our spice set. So in the skillet now, I'm heating up the oil. And the first thing I have to do is I have to add the mustard seeds, because these seeds are the one which need to burst and they need to actually release the aroma. The best way to find out whether the oil is hot enough is just to add a couple of them and then see if the seeds sort of dance around. So the oil is not hot enough, so I'm going to increase the heat on the skillet. And as you watch the mustard seeds, you will sort of see that they will start moving around and dancing around. So you are just going to sort of wait for the oil to heat up and make sure that that's what happens. So as we are waiting for the mustard seeds to sort of sputter, and as you can see right now, the mustard seeds are beginning to sort of move around a little bit. And as you start seeing that, there are three kinds of mustard seeds basically. There is black mustard seeds, which is very much used in southern Indian cooking. And then there is brown mustard seeds, which you may be familiar with. I think most probably the mustard that you're used to is made with that. And then there is a white mustard seeds too. So in Indian cooking, we tend to use the black mustard seeds much more. And in South Indian cooking, and every time we use mustard seeds, we usually have to sputter it. I call it sputtering. It's almost like popping popcorns. But again, waiting for it to sort of heat up out here, for the oil to heat up. I didn't want it to heat up too much before I started this session. So it's just going to start heating up now here. Add a few more. And you can see they are starting to move around and starting to sort of froth up, as you can see out here. And then they will start popping. They'll make click sounds like click, 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 click. And then you know that your mustard seeds are actually popping. In Indian cooking, this is the most important step, and this is most likely the most complex step, you would say, which you are not used to. But once you get a hang of this, it's very simple after that. All you have to do then is add the potatoes and add the powders, which is the coriander powder and then the turmeric powder and the cayenne and salt. And then you're going to be cooking it with. So there you can see that the seeds are beginning to froth up. And you can hear them actually jump around. So all I did was add all the mustard seeds in this packet, and as that is popping around, you just have to make sure that you step back. Don't go too close to the stove, because these sort of pop a little bit more. Then I'm going to add the cumin. And you can see the cumin seeds are also now frothing up and really getting nice and big. I'm going to switch off the stove a little bit because I have an electric stove and the heat is most likely going to be retained. And immediately after this, now I will be adding the potatoes. So I'll remove the potatoes from the water and then put them on. As you can see, I have diced up the potatoes into like 1-inch diced sizes, and I'm coating the potatoes with the oil and with the seeds, so that when I add the rest of the powders, they get all coated nicely and evenly. So the next, I'm going to be adding the turmeric, and I'm switching on the stove again and keeping it in low, around 2.5 or 2.6, because I'm going to be cooking it covered so that the vegetables will cook. And I'm now spreading the turmeric. This is so aromatic that the turmeric is so fresh and so aromatic. You can actually smell the turmeric as it is being added. And then I'm adding the coriander powder Typically, I would give it one turn, like toss it around a little bit more. Wow, it smells so good right now. And I'm making sure that all the powders are spreading evenly along with the vegetables. And then I add the cayenne. And this is the one, like I said, you can decide how much of cayenne you want. You can add all of it, you can add some of it. Toss it a little bit, and then I add salt, and I will be cooking it covered. The reason I cook it covered is because when the potatoes release moisture, they actually get they get nicely cooked in its own juice, in its own moisture. So I've added the salt, evenly toss it together. And then I cook it covered. Now, one of the reasons about, the nice thing about these, cooking it covered, is that you are actually allowing the juices of the vegetables to actually soak right in, so that it can then be nice and soft. The best way for you to find out whether this is already cooked is allow it to be covered for maybe around, I would say around 5 to 7 minutes, according to what the recipe tells you. And so here it says cook it covered on low heat for 5 to 6 minutes. So allow it, and in between just stir it once or twice. And you know it is cooked when you can put your spatula, right through the potatoes. So right now when you try to cut it with this spatula, it's not going to cut. But once it cooks, it's going to cut. And then after that, you would just remove the lid and let it roast a little bit, and it becomes nice and spicy and roasted and really yummy. So the best way to then serve these potatoes is you will serve it with a side of rice, or you can serve it as a side along with eggs or steak. You can also put it in a wrap. So what I do typically, I'll put in a wrap, or I'll put in a sandwich and send it to school with my kids. So they don't just have regular PBJ, but now they can have some veggies, and they can have the potatoes, and they can have a sandwich, and it's nice and flavorful, and it has got the right amount of spice in it. But as you can see out here, the potatoes are getting cooked. And you sort of know it is cooked. Like I said, you do the test, just like you do a pasta test. Whenever you cook pasta, you sort of check to see that the pasta is cooked or not. Here I do the test by sort of cutting it here, but now as you can see, it's not cutting. And you can see that it's actually released some of the moisture, and it is nice. It's going to get nice and soft, and it will get transparent. Right now you can see that this piece is getting a little transparent. So that is how you actually cook. It's pretty simple. You can make this with potatoes. You can make this recipe packed with various other veggies. So you can make this with potatoes, and according to the variation at the back, you can make it with cauliflower, you can make it with sweet potatoes. So next time around, we will try it out with either cauliflower or sweet potatoes. I plan to be back on the air and showing you how to do this in the next couple of days or so. In the meantime, all our products are on Amazon Prime, and so feel free to check it out and see what the products are like. And feel free to take advantage of the Amazon Prime Day deals that is starting on Monday and Tuesday, so going on until July 16th. With that, I'm going to sign off. So thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to use the moderator, the chat window, and ask me some questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thanks. This is Sarah signing off. Bye.